All right, so we are going to start our lesson with defining when to use the cosine law, and then we're going to look at the formulas for the cosine law. Okay, so yesterday we looked at the sine law, and the day before we looked at the Pythagorean theorem, not Pythagorean, I mean trigonometric ratio. Today we're going to look at the cosine law. So the cosine law can be used when you have three sides, okay? If they give you all three sides and they ask you to solve for an angle, this is when you're going to use the cosine law, okay? So that's why I said sometimes it's easier to know if it's cosine law or not, just because you don't have any other options. If you have the three sides, right, and you're asked to find the angle, you're going to have to use cosine law, okay? Now, the other time that you're going to use cosine law is if you have two sides and what we call the contained angle. Okay? Contained means it's between the two sides. Okay? So if they give you the two sides and the angle between the two sides, then you can use cosine law to look for the third side. Okay? So here are your two options. Either the two sides and the contained angle, or all three sides and you're looking for an angle. Is it easier to tell if you're going to use cosine law than sine law? Yes. Okay? So when you're looking at a question, if it's an oblique triangle, look for these two clues. Do I have three sides and I'm looking for an angle? If yes, then you know you're going to use the cosine law. Or do I have two sides and the angle between them? Then you know you're going to use the cosine law. If neither of these two, then you know it's going to be sine law. Okay? Now, what is the cosine law and how can I use it? So the cosine law, there's different versions of it. It depends on what is given to you. So let's say I have triangle ABC. So let's say if I'm looking for side A, okay? So what must be given to you if you're looking for side A?
Side.
You should be given side BC and angle A, right? These should be given to you. So they should give you side C, side B, and angle A for you to be able to solve for side A. So the formula is this: A squared equal to B squared plus C squared. So the side B squared plus the side C squared minus 2B C cos angle A. Now these formulas will be given to you, okay? But you just have to know which formula to use. Now here is the thing. B is given to me, C is given to me. Right? So BC here again, they appear again. And angle A is given to me. Right? So all of these are known. Now what if now you are given you're asked to solve for side B. What must they give you? AC and angle B, yeah? So if you're asked to find B, then they must give you A and C and angle B. What would your formula be? So, exactly. Right? You guys came up with the formula. I didn't tell you what the formula is. I just told you the first one. Right? Mm-hmm.
These formulas are going to be applied on the triangles. How do we know when to apply them? Sometimes are they going to
It will be two sides and any other angle. Two sides and an opposite angle, right? In this case, you'll be given the two sides and the angle between them. That would be the difference between sine law and cosine law. Okay? So you must have the contained angle for you to be able to use a cosine law. So what would be the formula if I'm finding C? Oh, number one, what would be given to me? Okay. So C squared equal? Good. Now something that I want you to kind of like correlate is the angle, right? So cosine A is always going to correlate to whatever you're looking for. Okay? So you see how cosine B and you're looking for B. Right? Cosine C and you're looking for C. Okay? Just so you know, if it's X, Y, and Z, you know how the formula is going to go, right? Now, this is the case when I'm given two sides and the angle between them, the contained angle. Now, how would I, if I'm given all three sides, that means I'm looking for an angle, okay? What do I need to do to the formula in order for me to be able to find the formula that I have to use?
You have to shift them around to bring the thing you want on one side and on the other.
So I have to rearrange, right? So basically what I have to do is I have to rearrange the formula because I'll be given A, B, and C, right? But I won't be given angle A, right? I'll be given A, B, and C, but I won't be given angle B. So in this case, I have to rearrange the formula so I can isolate for that cos part of it, okay? So I'm going to show you what the formula is. Do you guys want to go over how to isolate, or do you just want the formula? The formula will be given to you, but do you want to see why the formula comes up to be that? Again, you don't have to know it, but this would be something would be given to you, but it would be nice to know why they got to this. Okay? So I'm going to just open a page here. Okay. So the ultimate goal is I want to isolate for cosine A. Okay? Because I'm looking for that angle. So what's the first thing you want to get rid of? Mm-hmm. So you want to bring these over? Okay, and then when you bring them over, what does it become?
Negative.
So it's going to be a squared minus b squared equal to minus 2bc cos A. Why can't I bring this yet?
Because it's multiplied by
It's multiplied by cos A. Okay, so I don't bring them over as a plus because there is a multiplication between the cos A and the negative 2bc. All right, now what do you do?
division, but negative goes on that side.
I have to divide by a negative, right? Because when I'm getting rid of the negative 2bc, I'm dividing by negative 2bc, no? No? I have to divide by negative 2bc both sides to get rid of that thing. Yes? So my formula is a squared minus b squared minus c squared over negative 2bc equals to cos A. Okay? What cancels each other?
They are squared.
I did not hear what you said, and I don't want to hear it. Okay? It's not because they're squared, it's because there's a subtraction up there. It's not multiplication. If it was multiplication, yes, they do cancel. But because they're subtracted, we can't. We're not allowed to. Okay? We can't simplify. That's it. Now, the only thing that we can do is we can get rid of a lot of negatives. You see a lot of negatives out there? So we can kind of simplify it to a more cuter look where there's not a lot of negatives, okay? So if I want negative out of here, so that becomes, if I factor a -1, it becomes b squared plus c squared minus a squared, right? Basically, when you factor a -1 out, this becomes negative, this becomes positive, this becomes positive. But just to write them in a nice, neat way. Okay? And then divided by -2bc. So what happens here, because I have a negative here and a negative here, they cancel to become positive. And then your formula will be b squared plus c squared minus a squared over 2bc equals cos A. Okay? So what I just did basically is I rearranged my formula to isolate for the cosine A. Okay? Now, could I have stopped right here? Absolutely, I could have stopped right here. Okay? But then the formula that I'm going to give you are going to be these formulas right here. This version of it, because it has less negatives. What is it? Yes, once you find the answer, you do the inverse. Are we okay with this? Are we okay with this, everyone? All right. So here is I'm going to go back here. Okay, so we figured out that the first formula is cosine A equals to b squared plus c squared minus a squared over 2bc. Okay? What would be the second formula? Cos B equal to a squared plus c squared minus b squared over 2ac. And then the formula for c, cos C equals to a squared plus b squared minus c squared over 2ab. Now here's something that I want you guys to kind of also remember, kind of just so you can remember the formulas. A, so cos of angle A, everything is b and c except minus a squared. So whatever you're subtracting belongs to the angle. Whatever you're subtracting belongs to the angle. Whatever you're subtracting belongs to the angle. The formulas will be given to you. You just have to decide which formula to use.
I'm so lost.
Again, like the formulas will be given to you. You have to know which formula to use. Okay, let's look at some questions.
Okay.
Maybe that will help. Yeah. Yeah. Okay, so let's look at the first question. When using the cosine law, okay, that's what I just talked about. So let's look at this example. So I have triangle ABC. What is given to me? So two sides and a contained angle, yes? Okay, and I'm asked to solve for side B. Okay, so I know side A and I know side C. Are we okay with the naming of A, B, and C? All right. Now, what formula do I use? Because I'm looking for B, right, I'm going to have to use B squared, right? So equals A squared 2AC. So all what I have to do right now is I have to put the numbers in. So b squared equals to 20 squared plus 25 squared minus 2 times 20 times 25 cosine 48. Are we okay with this? So all what I'm doing right here is I'm plugging the numbers in where they belong. Now, some calculators, if they're forward calculators, you can put the whole thing in, which is fine. If you have a backward calculator, like yours, Jessica, and I think yours might be a backward calculator, I want you to do each part by itself. Okay? Unless you're using your phone calculator, which is fine. So, but anyway, all of you listen to me, please. So when you're doing this, if you're deciding to do every single part by itself, you're gonna find this by itself, you're gonna find this by itself, and then you're gonna find all of this together. Okay? So what would be 20 squared? What would be 25 squared? 625? And then what's 2 times 20 times 25 times cosine 48? I want you to put all of this together in a calculator. So 2 times 20 times 25 times cosine 48 is 669.13. It stays there. 669.13. Okay, so you see it's right here. Okay, now you're going to put all of this together. What do you get? Try them all together on the calculator and see if you get the same answer. And if you do, then put it all in the calculator. Okay? Don't waste your time. But some calculators, they're going to give you the wrong answer because you have to know exactly how to put them in. Yeah. Okay, eyes on the board for a second. Now, I have b squared equals to 335.87. I need to solve for b. So I have to square root. 18 point what? 86? So 18.9 because it's to one decimal place, no? It's a side length. It doesn't change. The rule doesn't change. Okay? This is easy. This is not easy? Okay, here's, it is not? It's just using the formulas. I know. You did? Okay. Here's a question I want you to do it.